Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. Hello. It is a 3-2 win away at Norwich. We needed the 3 points. We got the 3 points. What a game that was today. We have lots to talk about. New players, crap refs, and we need to talk about AO just a little bit. So get your calls in and we will talk about what you want to talk about, because this is WREXtra time on the local pundit. So we are back after the intro. Did we like that match, boys and girls? That was a fun one. Must admit, I had a little wobble at the end, getting very worried that we were going to end up with a draw, but we held in at the end, and the new players did an amazing job. So who is in the chat? Let's have a quick look. We have Jeff G, Nick, Donlan, Reliable Express, Nicole is here, and she is shouting for Kabori, Windass, and O'Brien. Amazing, all three. So, for anybody new here who doesn't know what we're doing, this is the WREXtra time. I am led in the discussion by you guys. What do you guys want to talk about? And what are your opinions? Because I have plenty of opportunity to give you mine, and I certainly will throughout today's episode. But I want to hear what you want to talk about, because there is lots positive to talk about today. I'm sure someone is going to come on and tell us all about how amazing Parky is and how he's going to take us to the Premier League. Surely someone wants to discuss that topic, because I would love to. That would be fun. More people are running in. We got Hapsification, Marie from SoCal, John Hills, David Marriott, Bono C, everybody's coming. John Olson, welcome, 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 everybody. Hip Karma is here. Are we going to have Hip Karma join us this week? Lots of positive for Hip to talk about. Root H has said it. Boom. Never fall in love with a lone player. Never fall in love with a lone player. Root H. I love Kabori. One match and she's diving right in. Interesting one there. Yes, Kabori did well today. We should definitely talk about his opportunities and how he played today, because that is an interesting conversation. Okay, lots of people starting to talk about AO. Yeah, we do need to talk about AO. I think there's definitely a lot of opinions on him that need to be discussed. So I am first of all going to put out the link, guys. Who is ready? Who is going to come in? Where's my link? There's my link, guys. Now in the chat, if you want to use the link, come on in, have a chat. You can lead the conversation where you want it to go, and we will have a bit of fun. If you come in, there's someone in already, just chill in the background, and I will bring you in as soon as we can, guys. So just load up in the background. Would be nice to have 3 or 4 people sitting around ready to jump on the show today, because today was an excellent match. Now, while we are waiting for the guests to come in, I'm going to give a little shout out to Ken, because I'm sure Ken isn't watching this, because he whispered to me that he was probably not going to get through the match because he was passing out and falling asleep. Nearly missed his own introductory show warm-up earlier. So I bet he went to sleep after the first half and missed all the fun until he wakes up. So if you've watched all the fun and enjoyed it, have fun watching the replay of this, and we will catch up on the match soon. Now, guys, get yourselves in. We need some people to talk to here. Before we do that, while we're waiting, I'm going to go through maybe a couple of the stats, and I'm going to have a look here. Jumping on FOTMob, which has okay stats. I don't always agree with them. They're very XG based, which doesn't always work. So, man of the match for FOTMob is Mr. Windass with 2 goals and 9.1. Amazing score there. Not often you get over the 9s on the site, so that's a great match when you do. Next up, we have Kabore, 8.5, followed, he had 2 assists during the match. Then we have Longman on the left, 8.0, 1 goal for him. That's another player that would be interesting to have a chat about, because obviously everybody knows he is normally out on the right-hand side, but he has come in to the left today in order to cover for Maka, who came on later in the match. How did he do on the left-hand side? That is a topic I would like to cover. Then we have O'Brien 7.7, Sheaf 7.2, Dobson 7.6. Kluwert did very well according to the stats, 7.9. Then a couple of players that didn't get amazing, although okay, Hayam had 6.9, Moore had 6.9. Normally 7s are really good, but I thought Moore did pretty well. But this is where the XG falls down. I don't think the XG helps out our style of football, so I think Moore did pretty well. Anyone disagree with that? Come in and have a chat about it. That would be a fun conversation. Then we have Doyle on the left with a 6.5, a yellow card, and he got replaced at halftime. Not very often do players get replaced by Parky at halftime. So does anyone want to come in and have a chat about Doyle? Did he deserve to be taken off? And what do you think about our young man Doyle on the left? Then last one to talk about is Okonkwo, which we've already mentioned numerous times. He got a 6.4 in goal. Not a great result. 6.4 is still okay, considering probably made up by the fact we actually won 3-2. He did okay with that. So, do you agree with those? Do you not agree with those? Okay, while I was shouting at those, we have some people in the background. So, Hip Camera will bring you in first, and Habs just shortly after. Talk to you soon. Hip Camera, hello.
Hello.
Nice to hear you again. It's been a while.
It has been a while, and I am still slightly awake, so I thought I would come in and wave before I actually passed out. I'll do better than Ken. How's that?
Good. So, what's your big thoughts?
I do agree that it was a statement. It was a statement match. They came. Yeah. They brought it. They had attitude. They knew what they were doing. The structure was great in the beginning. They were just so hard to get past in the middle, which was a delight to see. I was excited to see some of the people that I had been waiting to see on the pitch. Proof, evidence that Thomason does in fact exist. And as soon as he got on the pitch, he was directing traffic. So that was good to see. He was talking.
Another ex-captain.
Another ex-captain. Great to see. But the thing that the reason I really, really liked to see that this match in particular is because they are still working together. They're still learning to work together, and communication is key to doing that. They can't assume that they know where the other person's going to be, and that's evidenced by the amazing turns of speed and the crosses early by Kabore that Moore just wasn't there to get at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only a step away often, but it's just not gelling just yet, but so close. It's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward.
The passing was really nice. I liked the passing, crisp, much faster than usual, much more comfortable than usual. They were happy with players coming in close, trying to take them on and still made the nice pass that they wanted to get. That was nice to see. But yet we didn't pass around just for the fun of it. We still ended up somewhere around 40% of the possession. So when we had possession, we moved with purpose, and that was to get near the goal and try and score, which is what you want.
Yes, I agree entirely with that. There was, and you used the word that I was actually just going to use, and that was with purpose. There was decision, there was confidence, and that was reflected in it looked like they really didn't, the Canaries really didn't want to try and get past us going back up the pitch in the second half sometimes, because they just didn't want to take us on. And how delightful did that feel? That felt really delightful.
It did, absolutely it did. It was a really fun match to watch. Is there a specific thing you want to talk about, or are you happy in generalities? And maybe I'll bring Habs in as well to join.
I am happy in generalities. I won't stay long. It's 2:26 in the morning for me. But I was
caller. You don't have to hit a major topic yet. That's fine. We can still talk in generalities for a little bit. I'll bring Habs in, see what he wants to talk, and you can hang around and we'll have a little three-way discussion here. Habsification, how are you doing?
Yo, what's going on? I actually got to witness something for the first time in my entire life. I saw Bigfoot.
He exists.
Bigfoot is
not
real.
Just a name on paper.
They kidnapped him in Canada.
Yeah. So hit that topic, Thomason. What did you think?
As soon as he got on, he was commanding everyone what to do. So he was just telling everyone where to get into. Everyone, you could see it immediately. He was just telling everyone to get into place. And that was really good. So I'm liking that. He was telling everyone to get into place, get ready. That's one thing I like.
That is an interesting point to bring up, though, is this is his very first minute in the team and playing on the pitch live. Like, is he just confident he knows the formation and knows what's wanted immediately? You might think that he's not really on top of everything yet in order to be able to dictate like that to players. So that's really interesting. Now, if you've paid attention, everybody knows our style. So they're professional players. They have knowledge. I'm not saying it's incredibly difficult to do, but it takes a bit of mentality to act like that captain instantly in a new team with new players.
Not necessarily. In the case of a lot of people have said it on like Ben. I don't know if it was Ben Bloom or Codlogs or something. I can't remember. I saw it on one of those EFL reviewers. Was it Matt SB? Other one. They were saying, this is what he needs to do. He needed a move to get up to the championship. He's championship ready now. At this point, they've been saying it since we bought him. So that was what he needed to do.
So some of the comments there, Matt White, he's been on the bench long enough to learn the system, which is true. He has been injured, so he's been around the team. He's been at trainings and he's been watching everything. So that's very fair. Morgan says, captain is always a captain. Also, one of the reasons I guess Parky likes to bring in captains from other teams is they just work hard and they're willing to communicate with everyone around them. And Matt Ward again, we can see why Thomason was a team captain. If this is how he works.
Plus, and it was a young squad as well. It was a young squad when it was Bolton, because they were basically kids, and he was the only one that was experienced there.
Yeah, and interestingly, Al says here, I'm sure he got instructions from Parky when coming on. Also, another very good, valid point that Parky could have been passing on any changes or instruction to formation that he wants through Thomason joining the team, which is also very valid. So definitely a good start for Thomason. I think everybody seems pretty happy with him.
Yeah, more or less.
Who else do we want to go on to? Habs?
Well, I mean, there's a few players on there that were really good today. There's one thing I noticed as soon as we got to about at least the 20th to 30th minute, and I noticed Windass and Kabore have this relationship. They have this kind of on pitch relationship they have, where they are able to pass the ball to each other with confidence and no problem with each other. There's something there between those two.
They played very well today. Absolutely.
Together.
Hip Camera,
Well.
yeah, together definitely. But Hip Camera, just first off, what did you think of Kabore?
I think Kabore was a massively lucky pickup for us. He did so well. I saw comments in the chat during the match that, oh, you know, he's not as strong on the ball and such. He's clearly been more of a he's here for the pace and his skill. He just leveled us up on that side. I mean, I was confident anytime he was on the ball that he was going to do what he wanted. And for me, he tackled well as well. He got some nice ones in. So I really like him.
I immediately looking at him, for some reason, I thought he was very raw. Kind of like, you know, a young player, 21, 22, who's kind of growing into their position, but he is a bit older. And I can kind of see why Man City has held on to him. And I'm wondering in my mind, is it a little bit because of all the loans he's been on? You know, different teams. Will he settle just a little bit more? He's a little wild, but that's fun because he has the pace. He messed up a few little bits defensively, but he raced his ass to try and get back to them and to sort that out. So he is going to be a very interesting player. And he nearly scored as well. He got in a great position and just missed curling that ball in. Was it a pass or was it a shot?
He came very close. And I will say I really like your point about him. It brings me back to the comments that Lewis O'Brien made when he signed for us. Is he was looking for a home. Lewis O'Brien looking for a home. He wanted some certainty. He wanted some stability. I do think that Kabore would probably benefit from that as well. It is a really good point that you made. I don't know that we are going to be able to do that. I hope that we can do for him what we did for AO, and that is give him a really supportive space to grow and feel comfortable and feel like it can be a home. And I think I'm excited to see what else he can bring to the table. We haven't seen all of him yet. We haven't seen all of any of the new players.
He likes passing along the ground, which is a little different out on the right-hand side, knocking the ball back across the goal, which was interesting. Maybe he needs to, well, not work on it because we haven't seen it, but once he knows where players are going to be, maybe some of the higher balls will be interesting. But it's good to see some balls coming in along the floor. And Moore was just a half pace or a pace behind a lot of them. He was almost on them.
He almost was, and that's again for me, just knowing each other a little bit more. I agree with what you with your observation, Habs, that he and Windass have clearly connected better so far. But you know, give him time.
And just there, I'm going to give a shout out, Dr. Joy. I did see you in the background. You were there for a minute. If you want to come in, do join back up again. I'll bring you in shortly.
Yes, I'm just about to go.
If you dropped out accidentally or whatever happened, but I saw you there, so come back in, and we can get you on today. Windass then Habs. Immediately he went to work. He looked dangerous, and he really made a difference being on the pitch today.
He did. I wanted to just stay on Kabore for a bit. So one thing I wanted to just quickly to say was that if you've seen the highlights and seen some of the moments that he played in his stuff, he will throw himself. He will literally throw himself everywhere. So he's got that kind of like never say die, and that kind of sacrificial kind of that sacrificial kind of like play. So he will go in and he will go in as hard and as fast as possible. And the one thing you'll notice, he always sets everyone up for like a tap in as well. So that's why when you said that Moore was kind of behind, he was setting people up for tap-ins, and it will get there eventually, because you can tell we were just edging closer and closer to that point where we were just about to score. And the thing is that when he was used in other places like the Bundesliga or even at Man City, he didn't get enough time to be used, because you have to remember those places. I mean, those places generally have already got stacked squads. When you're in a tier one division like the Bundesliga or the Premier League, I mean, you already got the registered players, and then you got the reserves, and they got a massive quality of reserves that they can put in, so they don't necessarily need to put you on. So I suspect this will give time for Kabore to be able to actually develop on with us, because he never got to have that much time of playing with. I think it was Wolfsburg. Was it Wolfsburg or was it? I can't hear you, Paddy. You're mute.
I'm muted. Sorry, bit of background noise. Yeah, I believe that's correct. But either way, I do hope that, yes, if he can settle in here and be comfortable, will he become our new record-breaking signing again next summer?
He probably will be.
He probably will be, because I definitely think it'll be more than 7 million to try and get him.
I mean, it's Man City. They have got players
it's 10
up
to
the galore.
if we can get him.
Yeah, because
who knows.
They've got a massive list of academy players that are coming through their system. They got a super advanced academy, one of the best in the world. They are just bringing in as many as they can, and they can buy whoever they want, sort of, if they can get around the PSR and the FFP. Also that,
Mm-hmm.
but they can get around that kind of problem, and they're probably going to find a reason to want to sell them to us, because they want to, for PSR reasons, really.
Yeah, well, he's old enough. At this point, in theory, he should have been sold on by now. That would be normal, that a Prem team would have released him by this stage and sold him on.
It all depends. It all depends, but I mean, Prem teams, same with any kind of tier one division, whether it would be La Liga or Bundesliga or the Premier League. I mean, they have absolutely stacked benches and absolutely stacked reserves. They do. They just keep making them. They do. They're a factory for them.
Yeah, there's not much we can do about that really, except work within it. And it seems that we're starting to get a bit of a relationship with Man City, which is no bad thing for the future.
Yeah, with Doyle and Kabore. I mean, if we can sneak in some of their, I mean, if you go, I mean, their system, that some of their academy system, they produce really good passes. They do really good passes. It's probably because of the PEP system and the quality of coaches that they have there. They will be passing machines. They will be.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they find space as well.
Yeah, Angel Chris is saying here, Kabore created lots of chances and one connected. As they play, even more will connect. He got 2 assists for today, so 2 connected. But yes, he made some very nice plays. Not everything comes to fruition, we know that. But his movement and his speed are wicked fast compared to what we've had and what we're used to. So an amazing player to start off. Definitely.
I am going to head out in a moment.
Okay.
I'd just like to make 2 observations before I go. One, very impressed with Hyam and his contribution to the defence. He made some great saves. And Sheaf was wonderful in midfield. So really excited about what they can bring going forward.
Yeah, and 2 players I would expect to get better and better with some time, because they're roles where, as you're more comfortable where everyone is going to be around you, you can just pick those passes out much easier.
Yes, agreed. And on that
great start.
On that note, I shall depart. Have a great one, guys.
Thank you. Talk soon.
All right. See you in a bit.
Okay, so Rebecca J is saying there, Windass and Kabore were the best on the pitch today. And you picked them out. So go ahead a little bit more on the 2 working well together. With such short time on the training pitch, you think there's something already clicked between them? Or did it literally just happen on the field today?
I mean, there must have been some time where they had. I mean, they must have developed something. I think it was mostly on the pitch because they are sure they had some training time. But I mean, Kabore basically just came back from international duty, and then he goes and pulls this this kind of play that we have. I mean, Windass is that kind of. He's sneaky. He's very sneaky with where he comes, and he's very smart in how he does the passes. And then you can tell the way those two occupy the space in between the channels where they're able to pass to each other. That is something we can do because they can get to spaces that you wouldn't expect them to.
Yeah, there's a comment here I didn't bring up that I will now actually. From Peter Book, the best part of the game for him was that Kiefer Moore did not score today. In other words, we are no longer a one-trick pony, which will stretch out defenses. So Windass, yes, that's a very solid point. That Windass has his own attacking abilities from different spaces, and the two of them together are an interesting combination. And Moore had shots. He almost got on the end of quite a few of those passes from tap-ins from Kabore. So yeah, we could have had more today, and maybe in the future we'll have multiple. So great point there.
I mean, you could see when we got the first goal, that was what was it? The first goal was with Windass. He was occupying the space that. What was it? Was he in the goalie box, or was he just outside of it? I can't remember.
Just
because he was in the middle, just outside of it. Yeah, because he was occupying that space. It was completely open. It was completely open, that area was. So he was occupying space that was completely open, and no one was there to cover him. So he just got it in. They were all going after Kabore. So all the attention was going to him to a certain degree, but they were trying to just be more defensive. And then when the brace came, again, Windass was further out, but he was occupying space that no one was covering. So he found space to get in, get that second goal in.
And for another attacking option as well, we have Lewis O'Brien, who was definitely getting up there.
He was
off a couple of shots. Did really well today. I do kind of wish near the end he had passed it off to Kiefer Moore for tapping. That option was there, and he just didn't get the finish in the end. Moore didn't look too happy about that when the ball didn't come over to him when he was open.
Yeah.
But c'est la vie, these things happen. But again, another attacking channel. And damn, he was hard for the defense. He was hard to mark. He was all over the place, and stealing balls off people's feet and stuff.
And did you notice his thing? You notice O'Brien was able to play freely.
Yes,
he was able to play freely today. He didn't have to worry about McLean having to just be there, being slow as a tortoise, trying to chase after some people, or having to worry about Matty James having to be slow until he did come on. And then that's when that's when my heart started to race. I'm like, oh no, this isn't good. But nonetheless, when they were there, O'Brien, the way I wanted him to play is exactly how I wanted him to play, where he was able to push up and go further on the press. You could tell he was pressing more today because he didn't need to worry about having to go back every time.
Yeah.
Or play coverage on the left. And Longman was used perfectly today as well.
Yeah, I was hoping someone would bring up Longman because I think that's worth a quick shout. Now, it was different with him on the left, obviously, but he covered the role nicely. I was comfortable with it, and then in the end, he was in the right spot and took his own goal, which was great for him. I love the fact he got a goal out there, but I definitely think he's an upgrade on Maka on that side. Absolutely.
The thing is that he was able to find the spaces. He was able to use his pace, and he's used his pace, his speed, and he was able to use his technical ability to get the ball going. And he was constantly pressing. Today we were pressing hard. We may not have had as much possession. At some points we had more possession than them most of the time, a lot of the time. But when we didn't, whenever we had the ball, we always pressed hard. It was always in their box at most of the time. But today was kind of an open match. Anyway, it was an open game today because we were both like occupying each side very often. So it was quite an open match.
Our pressing today, absolutely noticeable in the first half, especially, was really aggressive and really strong. It was very different than we have previously seen in the other matches. They were after it from the start.
Yeah, that's what I noticed as well. We were even when they got the goal, we were still just like I could tell there was a goal coming for us. I could tell we were edging closer and closer.
Yeah.
And then we got three. And then as soon as we get to the second half, we get 3 goals in under 15 minutes.
Yeah, we want to see that way more often, obviously. But it did look like it was coming. Yeah, I will admit that as well. I was unhappy about the first goal, but not like, okay, that match is over. Definitely not. You could see it.
Yeah.
You could see there was opportunities there. They caught us on a break. Was it offside? It could technically be just offside, but I think Max played him on. And in my book, if it's not an obvious offside, then some refs are not going to give it. They're not going to be in the right position and they're not going to catch it. So I wasn't overly worried about trying to say that was offside and the goal shouldn't have happened. Even if technically it was, don't really care. It was so close, not that bothered. You have to take them on the chin.
I didn't like the officiating today. It was just trash.
I knew we were going to get onto that at some point. So here's the next topic. Referees. Loads of comments I've kind of called out here. But just on that one here from Matt White, I still think VAR would have called that one off, but it doesn't matter now. Yeah, VAR may have called that off by half a hand or whatever. But yeah, I don't really care. If it's close enough, then you have to accept that sometimes the linesmen are going to make mistakes as well. So if it's not an obvious offside and, you know, they miss it, then you have to kind of just let them go. So it is what it is. Okay, Morgan. And now, Paddy, he's offside. And considering how bad the ref was, that made the decision worse. Okay. That's fine. Everybody is interested in that. Mike Shane, just a quick question here. Why don't Championship use VAR? Too expensive, actually.
Yeah,
it's why a lot of teams say it's not worth the cost. It's not worth the extra money. So, yeah, we don't want to pay it. A lot of clubs don't have the money. They're actually badly in debt with their owners keeping them afloat. So, yeah, there's a lot of Okay, I start a few of these. Let's see. Okay, here we go. One from earlier, John Olsen. Fouls called seems rather one-sided today. Absolutely. It was very one-sided today. The ref was absolutely ridiculously bad. And just from a point of view of being one-sided, because I don't really care whether you call foul or don't call a foul. Very quickly, the team is supposed to figure out what type of referee you are, but you have to call the same type of fouls the same way. And I don't believe he was doing that. He was giving very soft fouls to them and giving us nothing in a lot of different situations. And some of the goal that came in as well was after a foul that wasn't called. That probably should have been. But at the same time, he wasn't giving them to us, and then he was giving them to them. So, yeah, all up in the air. That ref was ridiculous. Someone asked earlier, interested, just said, I don't know where it is, but I remember the comment. Comment was, I wonder if Parky will say anything about the refs in his interview afterwards. I highly doubt it. I think Parky is a little bit more professional than that. I don't think he will, especially seeing as we won. At the end of the day, 3 points are 3 points. No point causing a fuss over it, especially when we won.
He has called out refs before because even when we've won a match where it was in League One, there was certain, I can't remember which match it was. He has called out refs and the linesmen and stuff about not giving us certain fouls as well, because of the really bad officiating there was. I can't remember which match it was, but we won it. But Parky was like that. That was just really bad refereeing. That was so.
Yeah. Maybe he will.
Uh,
Maybe. I suppose the other way to say it is when you win is maybe a good time to actually say it, because no one's going to make a big deal out of it, because they can kind of make a story of, oh, Parky says the reason they lost is because of the ref. Whereas if you just make a comment saying you think the refereeing was poor or a little bit one-sided, it's not such a big story after you win. So maybe it's an easier time to do it. So yeah, maybe.
and also the VAR that's used in like the World Cup and the Euros last year. I mean, didn't have to worry about it because the VAR was much better in like last Euro and the World Cup in 22 because they don't use like the VAR where they have the idiots sitting in the control room. They use semi-automated systems. They do.
Yeah.
So they have a tracker in the ball itself, which allows for the checking of this. And when you get and the tracker would actually instantly signal an issue with a potential foul that's going to happen, and you can actually match it up with the VAR. So it's just ridiculous some of the stuff. But again, it is expensive, and it makes much more sense for, let's say, But the thing is, they don't have this issue in Italy because they were the ones that came up with it. In Serie A, they don't have this issue.
Well, I'm sure it's because of the stupid rules that the Prem is using. With it has to be an obvious mistake by the ref. Fuck that. I'm sorry. No, I hate VAR. If you get me on a rant, I'm just going to go crazy. But VAR is not, in my opinion, about whether the ref does a good job or not. No. VAR gives you multiple camera angles, shows you more than the ref can see. So it's irrelevant what the ref saw and what he called. Use your cameras to get the correct result. And if that is different to the ref, tough. You don't have to fire the ref because he didn't see things and made a few mistakes that VAR can see, that he can't. That's not a problem for me. I don't have an issue with that.
They don't have this problem in the Bundesliga, and they don't have this problem in Italy. I mean, Italy was. It was started in Serie A. It did, and they have perfectly good officiating. They do because of VAR. So I don't know because they were ahead of everyone when they brought tech on.
Okay, well, this is slightly off topic, so let's jump back onto the ref we have without VAR. And George also brought this one up. Kabore got assaulted in the corner. How the official didn't give him a foul there is criminal.
He got kicked in the nuts.
Yeah, but you know what? At the end of the day, he didn't make too big a deal about it, really.
I mean, that's kind of what he does. He's, as I said, he's going to be like he will throw himself to that ball. So,
which is good to see. So, was there any other massive reffing mistakes that people can remember? Was there anything
there was Doyle. That one was just random. I think it was a late foul. It was a late foul. It was where Doyle got to the one of the guys. I can't remember who it was. Where he'd already passed it off and Doyle just smashed into him. But it was just like it wasn't really smashed into him. It was more like
a nudge, kind of a lot as you're moving past them or whatever. That just get ignored off the ball, and obviously somebody flagged. Yeah.
That was just ridiculous. It was just giving us a bunch of yellow cards every goddamn time. So
yeah. Okay, guys. Not that I'm trying to throw you out, Habs, but we need some more voices in here. Come on, people. Someone else needs to join today. We want to have preferably 7 or 8 people jump in throughout a WREXtra time. Don't leave it all on Habs to come in here and do all the discussion. Take your turn as well. I'm going to throw it out again into the comments, and then we're going to move on to a new topic. So, do you want to discuss the other players, or do you want to hit Okonkwo? What's your opinion?
We could discuss the other players as well before we get to AM.
Yeah,
because I think actually.
Okay, so let's go through them from the front and work our way back towards Okonkwo then. So we had Moore up front. Were you generally happy with Moore today?
He was. I mean, he was fine. What he was doing. There was a moment where he got called offside. There was where he was so close to just going there. He got called offside.
Yeah.
So close. there were so many moments where he was like, you know, there's a goal coming from Moore. And he didn't get the goal today, but nonetheless, that makes it good for us because at least we know we can score from any angle now.
Yeah, and when you're one step behind numerous times, you know you're getting close, and you know those link-ups are going to happen in the future. So yeah, I was generally happy with Moore's play today. He didn't get a goal in the end, but we didn't need to. We used the rest of the team, which is also positive. So that's good. Yeah, I don't have much to say on Moore except look, just general standards are high and very comfortable with him leading up the front.
Yeah, I mean, he was a little off, but that's probably just due to maybe just not being used to the way Tabore plays. Because I mean, they've only had like a week with each other, really. So
yeah. So then we have O'Brien, very strong 7.7 on FOTMob. Now, interestingly, on FOTMob, they have set us up as 3-4-2-1 with a Moore, Windass, O'Brien triangle. Do you agree with that at all? I know we morphed during the match, but did you see O'Brien being more heavily forward?
he was much more further forward. I mean, we were playing a 3-4-3 from what I could tell.
Yeah, so a 2-1 is basically a tree, depending on where they are. So yeah,
Sure.
3-4-3. Yeah,
but you could tell when we were. I mean, there were certain points you could tell. It wasn't just a 3-4-2-1. It was just going into a 3 at the front instead of having just a more right up front. We were edging back and then just trying to find the space every time where it would either go to Kabore or to Longman. So
yeah, I would maybe what I saw was a little bit more of whenever Windass or Moore got caught a bit further back, O'Brien would move forward to make it a 2, either Windass O'Brien or Moore O'Brien or whatever on breaks.
yeah,
I saw that a lot because O'Brien got up there and got multiple shots off himself in different positions, and he had that pass to Moore that he didn't take and went for a final shot and didn't score for himself.
he was an absolute
interesting. He's a pit bull. Absolutely. It was his pressure that was definitely pushing the defense back. He was definitely setting the press. And him and Dobson together worked well, actually.
They do. This is what happens when you don't have McLean or as you start in 11 or Matty James.
Yeah, James is a little bit too slow. Yeah.
So as soon as I saw Matty James come, I was like, "Oh no, oh no!" And I noticed straight away the speed just went down. Our pace just slowed. It just declined after that. I noticed straight away. I was like,
well, here in this formation with the 3-4, they basically have Dobson and Chief at the back. They've been the counter pivots, but I saw Dobson again more forward. He was more free, and he was getting involved in play, and he was breaking up plays a lot. So I definitely think he was the more forward, more attacking, and Chief just became that solid rock waiting behind.
I think Parky has been telling Dobson, but it's been happening all throughout every game that we've been in. That Dobson's just been going into these areas to just try and to just work the defensive angle and keep tackling these things. He's been going everywhere he has been to tackle, and I think he's working in certain spaces that he wasn't doing last year. This is completely different from what I saw him last year, for the way he was playing. So I don't know. I think it's because of the quality of players as well as the style of play that we're using that Dobson's being utilized in a slightly different way. It's much more aggressive in the way he's being used as well, much more aggressively.
Yeah, so they mentioned on the commentary as well, and I did notice it. Ricky brings it up here. Definitely a box midfield today was way better than previous games. So the box midfield definitely seemed to be working nicely today with that system, and they were definitely trying to use it a lot more than previously. So now they seem to have the quality and the passing.
Did you notice one thing? Did you notice one thing today? They couldn't get through the middle.
Yeah.
They couldn't get to the middle today. They had to keep going to the wings every time.
Yeah, they got taken out every time they went near the middle. There was just too many people on them. It was great.
And do you know when they could go through the middle?
When James came on.
Yeah. As soon as Matty James comes on, they were going. You could see that. I mean, one, because they were panicking because as soon as we got the third goal, they were panicking like hell. So it was all stations on, all stations get on. They were just needing to get that goal. They needed to get that second goal in. But as soon as James came on, I noticed they were able to get through the middle a lot easier than they were. And then when McLean came on, I was like, okay. I put in the comments on Josh on the live chat on Josh's stream. I was like, we're going to end up drawing today. Now I thought we were going to draw.
Yeah, well, look, there's not a lot we can do about this until January. Our bench is going to be a little bit light. It really is. I don't think there's an awful lot we can do about it, really. On the only thing is to make it a bit stronger is obviously Kikache. If he can come on, get over his injuries and take the Longman spot on the left and be stronger, then that would assist in attacking on that left side, because today we absolutely blitzed the right side. Kabori would. What I didn't notice today as well was Kabori was in acres of space at all times, and I couldn't see him often enough. I'm like, what are they doing to mark him? They're just leaving him alone. So is he literally just moving constantly into space, and players just can't follow him, or what? It was really nice to see.
It's a combination of both of that. So he was getting into spaces that they didn't like. So he was occupying certain spaces where I could see that they couldn't really touch him because they thought the ball was going to go somewhere else. But he also was able to just move as fast as possible, and they were struggling to get through our middle as well. So they couldn't.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, the other thing was, if you notice when people were passing to him, they were not passing directly. It was into open space that he was going to run into, and it was very obvious. You know, it was some distance away that they were passing that ball. And
they were trusting him.
Yeah,
they absolutely trusted him to be able to. When the ball was passed to the right in open space, he just went there. He knew where to go.
Yeah. And the only time they messed it up is when they kicked the ball into the back of him when the pass needed to go beside him. But some lovely passes today across the pitch from the defence as well. On the goal, we got the lovely pass from the defence out to Kabore and then across for the goal to win that. That was amazing. So our passing today was really crisp and nice. Some very long passes as well, and I love to see that. Because people keep talking about how long ball over the top. Yes, we'll keep using it, but our passing play today was really good, really solid.
I think the third goal came from an assist from Max. I think.
Yeah, but that was like a third pass ultimately, wasn't it? So he probably didn't. I don't think he got an assist on it. It wasn't a direct pass.
And what about Brunt?
Brunt did really well, actually. I didn't think we needed to swap him out and put Brunt in, but he did really well.
Everyone sleeps on this guy. Everyone sleeps on this guy. They do. But I always say Brunt is really good. Here's the thing. He's faster than Doyle. He's much faster than Doyle, and he will push the game forward as well. And his defensive duties are really good. I mean, people sleep on him all the time. So, but he does that job really well that people forget about him. I think that's because he does so well, and we don't notice it that he does that kind of play.
Yeah, very solid, very consistent in general. Kind of gets overlooked a little bit because nothing he does maybe tends to be amazing, but it's just all very good. Kind
Pretty
of that
much, yeah.
dependable person that you forget about thanking. Okay, so we covered O'Brien. Dobson, we covered a little bit in the midfield as well. In that box, was working really well. He was shutting people down. He got on a lot of balls when he was pressing and stopped a lot of attacks through the midfield today. I was pretty impressed with Dobson today. I have been a little critical on him at times, but the system and the players around him, he worked well today, in my opinion.
Definitely. I mean, we generally played. It's been like this since the very first game of the season. We've been aggressive. We've been aggressively pressing oppositions every time. So there's something. I don't know what happened, but something must have changed in Parky chosen a much more aggressive and more pressing side this time, as opposed to last season, where we're just extremely defensive and going on the counter or going on the transition.
Okay, maybe before we hit the defense, last one I kind of want to go back to is Thomason. Where do you think Thomason fits with our midfields at the moment? Can he win a starting spot? And where do you think it would be? Now, depth is always good, so I've no problem with that. But what's your opinion?
It's going to be hard to say, really, because I haven't seen enough of him. So
that's fair.
So I don't.
It's nice to have a bit of depth for a solid midfielder that can come in, and I believe he can play multiple positions as well. So if he's going to be your depth when someone needs to come off, if Dobson ends up really gassed, then he's just a nice fresh legs to go in there. And if somebody else needs to come off, if he can just hold a position and finish out a match, that would be quite good to have something there for depth.
But yeah, I mean, Dobson was, whenever the ball was coming back to us and it was looking to be a little threatening, Dobson's always there. He's just there to just he's just hunting the ball every time, just to make sure no one else gets him.
Yeah. So then in the back, we have, let's start with Clewert on the right. Solid game today, 7.9 by FOTMOB. Pretty strong.
I mean, he's consistently always like that. He's almost like an inverted. He's almost like an inverted right back that somehow switches into a DM whenever he does that. But he's always consistent. He's been, there's been a lot of times where he's just been kicking the ball. Well, not kick the ball out, or just chasing after it, get it out, get control of the ball, pass it back, push it through. I mean, there's a lot of things that he's just there. He's just commanding that side of that. And if there's any kind of trouble, he rushes in, tries to get it out of the way. So he's solid. He was solid today.
Yeah, and Nick just brought up a good point there, because I made a mistake earlier. Max did get the assist for FOTMOB on one of the 3 goals. So yeah, he did get the assist. I was incorrect there in saying that. So Max did well again today. Yeah, nice and strong. It's nice that a player gets to stay and looks like he might be keeping his spot going through the leagues again. So Championship is a nice step up. And he doesn't look out of place. Obviously, not everything is perfect. That's fine. But it's solid in defence.
I mean, he's calmed down massively as opposed to his League 2 and League 1, where he was constantly just hoofing the ball out. He's now actually trying to control the ball more. And he's been doing that.
He is. He's slowly been getting more solid on that, and not just hoofing the ball away. I'd agree with that.
I think really around the second or third match that we had, I think it was the second match that it was like, all right, you need to actually control the ball, get possession, calm everything down, and get that going again. So just control the ball. So that's one thing that was really good with Max, and he's been doing that, and he's gonna step up, and he's stepped up at every level that we've been at. He is going to be that player. Once we are in the Prem, he will be that player that will be under control. So.
Well, interesting saying that, because John M. likes to put a comment up. Prem will come for Max in time. Said it in League 2. Maybe, and I'm not going to disagree just for the fun of it, but I wonder if he stays 2 seasons with us in Championship, he'll be getting a little bit older to get a start in the Prem for a lot of teams. So he needs to step up soon. Now, maybe at the end of the season, he might have some Prems come after him, possibly. So we'll wait and see on that one. I don't mind if it happens. Look, fair play to him. If he does try and get a call up to one of the Prem teams, and we make some nice money on him, if he wants to go rather than stay with us for a couple of seasons, hoping to get up there.
If they start calling for him, they better pay us 35-40 mil. I'm not letting him go.
Well, you don't always have a choice here. It's not just the club's choice.
True.
If the player wants to go, you kind of have to let him. But look, either way it works. We get lots of money, or we keep Max. So here's the other thing people have said: pace is Max's main issue. That he's quick enough, but he's not got Prem pace. I've heard that comment a few times. So
that is true to an extent, but what he does do is that he gets into spaces.
Mm-hmm.
He does, yeah. He gets into, and he knows when to time where he needs to go, so he can get to certain places with certain points.
That is what would probably be the benefit if a team came after him, is potentially if they wanted a defensive player who can go and be more attacking and get up there and get into good positions. Then yeah, that's probably what will get him his move, in my opinion. So yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, John Olsen. Educate me. Aren't defenders in the Prem a little bit older than midfielders and strikers? That could very well be true, but they don't start late in the Prem. They tend to start a bit younger, be on the bench, and build their way up earlier, that they're recognised a bit quicker. So same way that a lot of the academy players are sold by Prem teams when they're 23 or younger. You know, they're already decided whether they're going to make a team or not, and then they move on to other players. So, and hashtag save Max. I knew someone would put it up there.
Does anyone else want to come on as well?
It doesn't seem like it, and I have kids to deal with, so I will actually finish up pretty soon. Maybe give another 10-15 minutes,
Okay.
and then we'll finish up today. Everyone's happy. They've all gone off, and well, they haven't gone off because we actually have a lot of viewers today. So there's a lot of people watching, but I don't know. Maybe they only like to come on when there's bad news. So we'll wait and see. But we're nearly gone through all the players. So next we have Hyam in the middle at the back. 6.9, almost a 7 in FootMob, which is pretty decent. First match, I was comfortable with him. I liked it. Our defense seemed much solider.
I think he did fine.
Yeah, I was comfortable with it. Everything seemed to work. Compared to what we have been saying about the defense the last couple of weeks. Yeah, everything seemed much, much better today. And part of that was the new team around them as well. Like, everything has to work together at a similar level. Otherwise, you get weaknesses, and that weakness can pull down other areas. And everything seemed fairly solid the whole way around. And I think that helped the defense. But Hyam, yeah, was very comfortable, very experienced, obviously knew what he was doing, and got himself into the right places. So I want to see more of him. Absolutely.
When McLean came on, was he playing on the right? I think he was playing on the right, wasn't he?
I don't know what he did, actually, to be honest. I didn't really pay much attention to McLean after he came on.
So I think he was playing on the right, and I was thinking to myself, because they took Kabore off and they put McLean in.
So I would have assumed Longman would have swapped back over.
Probably, but but Longman was still playing on the left the entire time.
Yeah, I didn't watch that. Maybe on the replay, I need to pay attention to that actually and see what happened there.
Ricky Coleman saying Longman went to the right.
Yeah, see, that's the weird thing. I have actually seen Maka playing on the right-hand side when he's supposed to be on the left. So I don't know how he got out there, but I've seen him on the other side of the pitch when he's playing on the left. But yeah, I assumed he went onto the left and Longman swapped over, but I wasn't actually paying much attention specifically.
Was Barney on the bench? So I think Barney was on the bench, right?
He was, yes. Yeah.
Why didn't you just bring him on?
I don't know. I'm assuming it's the defensive duties that they were trying to shore up a bit more. And
what defensive duties does McLean offer?
I knew you were going to say that, but look, Parky has to see something in him. I don't know.
It's like it's his favourite boy, that is. I mean, what is going on? Why keep bringing him? It's either him or Max, that's his favourite boy, but for some reason McLean just keeps coming on. I'm thinking, why? I blame that second goal on him.
Okay. Right, now, what about Doyle on the left? Taken off at half-time. Deserved?
I mean, I think they took him off because of the yellow. So
yeah, that's fair as well. Actually, having a yellow, it's always dangerous that you can't go in for a tackle or you could end up gone. So yeah, I wouldn't mind if that was the reason. You know, I thought he was doing okay. I wasn't unhappy with him.
He was doing more or less fine. I didn't see anything too bad that he was doing. So I think Parky just didn't want to risk it, so he brought Brunt on just in case. So
yeah, and then we were happy with Brunt. We've already kind of gone over Brunt. He did pretty well when he came on, comfortable, no problems. And maybe Brunt can win his spot back later. You know, he's still young enough as well. So he may need a little bit of time to just kind of upskill in the championship, and maybe he'll be fighting for that spot back later.
True, but I think they should really use them interchangeably against different opponents when you go up against different teams. Whether you should probably use either Brunt for certain teams as a starting 11, or use Doyle against certain teams because they offer completely different. They're completely different for their role as the left centre backs.
Yeah, and look, a little bit of rotation when you're hitting Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday is not a bad thing if two players are almost interchangeable. You know,
it prevents fatigue and injury as well at the same time.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean they work differently and they work differently for different things. So I think Parky should really switch them around once in a while, or use them for very particular opponents because they're very different. They're very different the way they use. I can see certain teams would struggle with Brunt and certain teams will struggle with Doyle.
Yeah. Sorry, I had some noise in the background there, trying to see if the kids have killed each other or do I need to go grab them or no, everything seems safe and no hospital visits needed, so we can continue. So then, bench. All right, we've gone through James, he came on, Brunt, Thomason, McLean, Connor Cody. He got dropped for today. Does he need just a couple of games to reset himself and then maybe try again? It's an interesting one because, again, it's another depth issue, isn't it? Because Hyam looks like he will probably want to be first team every week.
It will look like
has a skill set for it. So,
yeah, it looks like he's going to be taking it from him for the time being until Cody's like, I don't know whether it's catch up, but then again, a lot of people were complaining about him at Leicester and everything else, but I think he just needs time to reset. That's really all it is.
But it will be an interesting one to see how that works. Now, look, Scar had issues last year. He ended up taking a long time before he was given his opportunity. Had the opportunity, didn't really work out, and O'Connell came back in. So it's not like it would be the first time that a new signing didn't break into a first 11 role. So we'll have to see what happens with Cody. Interesting one, but I guess all signings can't be perfect, so it remains to be seen for Mr. Connor Cody. And then we had Nathan Broadhead and Sam Smith up front, who didn't come on. Ryan Barnes there as well. We already kind of just spoke about him briefly. Broadhead and Smith, good options maybe to have, but didn't really need them today. We had the goals and went a bit more defensive.
I would have switched on Kiefer Moore for Smith.
Okay, so you would have changed more to Smith, right? That's fine. But then
I would have subbed them off basically at some point.
Yes, yeah. But we used our 4. So is it 4 or 5? 4, isn't it? Changes.
I think we used 3. No, we used 4.
We used 4 today, but is 4 the max or 5? I'm
5.
Okay, so 5. We had an extra one as well. Okay, so we could have just made the change. Yeah, then that's fine.
I would have subbed off more because he was looking tired.
He was looking a bit tired. Yeah. We could have gone just fresh legs to help back in the defense, I guess.
And I think we could have gotten a goal with Sam Smith.
Possibly. Yeah, wouldn't have minded that at all. Okay, so that is everybody covered, except AO. Now, look, I know I wanted to say a lot about AO, but I'm changing my mind. We've had a very nice day. We will touch it briefly because I'm not going to ignore it, but I'm not going to dive into it massively. So, guys, if you want to get your comments in, we're going to do a couple of minutes on AO, and then we're going to finish it on a positive note for Mr. Parkey, and then we'll be done for this week. So AO, shot stopping again, generally good, but I would have preferred him to keep a hold of that ball at the end that became a goal. These things happen sometimes, but we brought him in for shot stopping. He still has shot stopping ability, but he is indecisive again. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a championship. He had that for a while. He got sat for a couple of games. He came back, did better. He seems indecisive again. He just seems unsure of himself.
I'd give him some time. I'll give him some time. He's only just had one.
Of course. Look, we don't have an easy option.
I mean, the thing is, everyone was complaining about Ward as soon as we had him on, and everyone was like, "Oh, get AO in, get AO in, get AO in." I'm like,
there was nothing wrong with Ward.
Yeah, there's not. But people were complaining about him, and they're like, "All right, get Arthur in, get Arthur in." As soon as we get Arthur in, we want Ward back. We want Ward back. We're like, what's wrong with you?
Well, Ward is not available, so guys, that's just simply off the table. Now, what will be very interesting is Tuesday. So on Tuesday, we have the cup match against what you would dictate to be an easy team. But we know how cup matches work. And we're going to have, I would assume, Burton in goal on Tuesday because he needs a match. And I wonder if he has an amazing match on Tuesday, will it just give Parky headaches?
I think I would say just give him some time. That's all it really is. I mean, there are some things I don't really like that he has not. He hasn't. I can tell one thing. He is still long balling it. That's one thing. You've got to be able to start playing out from the back as well. He's not, because one thing that Danny Ward was doing was that he knew how to play out from the back, and AO doesn't. He just long balls it a lot when it didn't need to be. There were moments where you could think, well, why doesn't Arthur just control the ball and just pass it to one of the defenders? He wasn't doing it.
Yeah, he's not comfortable on the ball like that. He really isn't, and he should be by now. How long does it take to become more comfortable? Now, look, maybe that's not fair because we've kept going up divisions on him. Every time he looks more comfortable, by the end of the season, we've gotten promoted. So that's not great.
That's all it is. Just give him time.
It is. Yeah, he'll probably be fine. Now, interesting, I didn't think about this, but John makes a good point. Burton on Tuesday with AO as the backup. Well, we don't have a very good backup as our third. Look, an option. We needed an option. We got one. Do we think AO will be on the bench? I think so, actually. AO will have to
Maybe
just in case an injury. I think do it.
We have that reserve goalkeeper from Ireland. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I know. I don't remember his name either, but we signed him. Will he be put on the bench? Or
he'll probably be on the bench.
Or will they go safe and bring AO?
I think they'll probably put Arthur on the bench. So just in case, because Callum Burton needs to get some game time just in case.
Yes. Well, Burton definitely needs to start. That's clear. It's a cup match. He needs to play just in case anything happens. AO, he needs the minutes. And also, how can you judge his level if you don't let him play? Because he only had a few matches last season, but he looked as good as AO, but in different places. So different type of goalie, but they looked very similar last season. So
and Burton's an older goalkeeper as well, so he knows he's got that.
He doesn't have a lot of time left. Yeah.
No, he's in his what
20. No, he's not old for a goalkeeper, but you know how these things work. If you don't get your starting position, it gets a bit late to get it. And apparently he wanted to leave to get his first goalie position, but he was convinced to stay. So,
but the thing with Burton, he's very different in a way. He's much more commanding as a goalkeeper as well.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot more experience compared to Arthur. So, you have to take into consideration Arthur hasn't really played like higher level football. So he's always been in like lower divisions. When he was in Austria, he played in I think, the third division.
Sterngratz, I think it was second.
Second division, okay.
I think it was second, and they got them promoted.
It's the Austrian league. No one takes it.
It is what it is, yeah.
But and then he's also spent a lot of time in League Two as well. So in other points, so he hasn't really had that kind of experience. And simultaneously, we've just been getting promoted so quickly that he hasn't really. He's always just played to that level. I'd say, even though the former Arsenal academy.
Yes, yeah. Sorry, I'm laughing at the comments because everybody's going in on AO in the comments. Now they're not going crazy on him, but it's just funny. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at it. Yeah, he needs to work on a few things. Okay, so Parky, how amazing is Parky? Woohoo! We've got more points, and his job is safe, and in Parky we trust.
I didn't really have any complaints. I've never had any complaints about him. I just said, look, I said it from the very beginning, even before the thing. Give us 10. When we got to the point of, I can't remember when I said it, but I think it was in the the Sunday chat one. Give us about 10 to 12 matches. Give him 10 to 12 matches, and you'll see.
You need time.
And plus, we just had a massive turnover of the squad. We've got 13 new players in. Is everyone expecting us to get? A lot of this happens as well with the Championship squad, where they've had massive turnovers, but they have much more consistency and continuity with their players, as opposed to us, where we just shot up so fast from the National League into the Championship that we now need to. All our legacy players are just had to go effectively. So give him time. He's sorting out the formations. He's sorting out the players. He's changed his style as well. We're far more aggressive than what we were in those other times. We were far more counter-attacking. Now we're far more of a I wouldn't say high press, but we're more of a pressing team.
Yeah, absolutely. So where are we on the leaderboard? I'm
15.
Yeah,
15.
but I'm gonna show it. 2 seconds. Share screen. This one there.
I
Boom.
mean,
So Middlesbrough are still top. They won Stoke, Bristol, Leicester City, and then Birmingham in 8th, Swansea in 10th. We need to catch them. Charlton doing well in 11th because they pulled out a win today. So briefly, who were Charlton Athletic playing? Poor old Sheffield United. So that's
yes.
another loss, 6
Yes.
in a row with their new old manager.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I don't know what is going on down there at Sheffield United right now. And
Yeah.
Charlton is running on their luck right now because they're only getting
Yes.
like 1-0 goals. They are running on their luck.
That's fine. We won't worry about Charlton. We'll catch them at some point. Then Portsmouth Hull took out Southampton today, which was a big win for them.
Yes.
Then Norwich actually slipped ahead of us on goal difference because of that extra goal that they scored at the end. So we are both on 7 points with Millwall behind us based on goal difference. So that's 14th, 15th, 16th on the same number of points. And 2 of the parachute teams are behind us, interestingly enough.
I know.
Both Southampton and Ipswich are behind little old Wrexham at this
Southampton
point
lost
in the
today.
season. Yeah, Southampton lost
They
today
lost the whole
to Hull.
3-0. Was it 3-0 or 3-1?
I don't know. Did it finish 3-0? I didn't check. Let's see. So let's quickly do all the matches. By round 6. Okay, so Friday night we had Middlesbrough 2, West Bromwich Albion 1. Today, Birmingham City 1, Swansea City 0. They got that right at the end in extra time, I believe. Leicester City 0, Coventry City 0, which was a nice result to keep both of them down the pecking order a little bit. QPR took the win 1-0 against Stoke. Sorry, what were you saying there?
Dangerous teams, those two, Leicester and Coventry.
So good for a nice little draw for the moment because we don't know who or if we'll be trying to overtake any of them. Then we had an interesting match, Blackburn Rovers versus Ipswich. Blackburn were up 1-0. Ipswich had a red card and the match got abandoned late. I think it was somewhere like 80 minutes into the match and abandoned for waterlogging. So that's an interesting one. Yeah, not often you see that in a match. Then we have Derby County lost to Preston North End with a 1-0 there. Hull City ended up winning 3-1 versus Southampton. We won away at Norwich 3-2. Sheffield Wednesday pulled off a win versus Portsmouth. That's an interesting one. 2-0 for them. Even Sheffield Wednesday can pull out a win when Sheffield United can't. Ooh. Sheffield United then lost to Charlton Athletic, and tomorrow on the Sunday match we have Bristol City at home still to play Oxford United. So back to the table, and I'm just going to have a little look at Sheffield United. Look at that. Last place, 0 points, minus 12 goal difference with only 1 goal scored. And Sheffield Wednesday, the state that they're in, have managed to pick up 4 points now, albeit one of those was against us. Or was it 3 against us? They beat us. Yeah, sorry.
There was one. There was one.
Against us. Okay, 2-2. Yep.
Remember McLean. Just remember it was McLean's fault.
Yeah. Okay. So, guys, I think that's it for today. We had a little round the house on the rest of the league. We went through everything today. And on the bombshell that Sheffield United suck worse than Sheffield Wednesday, I think we're going to leave there. So thank you, everybody. Shame we didn't get more people in. Next time, I want more guests. No offense to you, Habs. Thank you very much for coming on and having a great discussion.
Right.
And on that bombshell of Sheffield versus Sheffield, we are out of here. Thanks very much and see you again.